This week, we are learning about The Frozen River by Ariel Lawhon. I'm Jamie Livingston.
And I'm Sarah Lyles, and we are so approachable. All right, so this was kind of your pick?
Yeah. I'm doing this to take one for the team. I don't know. I love historical fiction.
Yes.
And this is a historical fiction. You have actually mentioned this one a couple times because people have recommended it to you.
Yes.
And I didn't know if you would actually take the leap off of the edge and say we're going to do it. So we're going to do it. I'm saying it now.
I probably would not have. I would have left that on the TBR for so long. And there's so many good books that come out. I probably would have left it there.
Right. Well, I also thought that we're in the drudgery of winter.
Yes.
January, February, dark lands. And so I thought Frozen River seemed apt. It felt right.
Absolutely. I mean, like I said, I've had 2 or 3 people say that this was such a good book. Again, historical fiction. The other one went well. So,
Right.
Hey, I'm feeling pretty good about it, and especially since it was so highly recommended.
Right. So we're going to dive into what this one is actually about.
Okay.
We're in Maine, and the year is 1789. So we're going a far way back. Yeah?
Way back.
All right. When the Kennebec River freezes, entombing a man in the ice, Martha Ballard is summoned to examine the body and determine the cause of death. As a midwife and healer, she is privy to much of what goes on behind closed doors in Hallowell. Her diary is a record of every birth and death, crime and debacle that unfolds in the close-knit community.
Months earlier, Martha documented the details of an alleged rape committed by 2 of the town's most respected gentlemen, one of whom has now been found dead in the ice. But when the local physician undermines her conclusion, declaring the death to be an accident, Martha is forced to investigate the shocking murder on her own.
Over the course of one winter, as the trial nears and whispers and prejudices mount, Martha doggedly pursues the truth. Her diary soon lands at the center of the scandal, implicating those she loves and compelling Martha to decide where her own loyalties lie.
Clever, layered, and subversive, Ariel Lawhon's newest offering introduces an unsung heroine who refused to accept anything less than justice at a time when women were considered best seen and not heard. The Frozen River is a thrilling, tense, and tender story about a remarkable woman who left an unparalleled legacy, yet remains nearly forgotten to this day.
So this is where I say this story is actually inspired by the life of Martha Ballard. She is a renowned 18th century midwife who defied the legal system and wrote herself into history. So that's where this is, when I look at this cover, it feels like this is a mystical, magical, somebody's lost in the woods.
Yeah.
This is a real person. Mm-hmm. We are learning about somebody who did exist back at the very start of the U.S., we're back in the 1700s. That is a time period I don't know much about.
I don't know anything about it. And I mean, like we talked about before about history, I wish I would have learned more, and I would have actually taken the time to really dissect into understanding. One thing it seems to ring true constantly is how women were just seen, not heard, and they were just like a thing, like a object or they're a person, but it didn't seem like they mattered.
Right. And that it definitely sounds like we're going to hear a lot of that in this, but we're seeing the bravery of this woman standing up and speaking out, and she's playing detective, so that's pretty cool.
I mean, I love that there's a mystery portion to this. So
right.
That's pretty cool. All right, a little bit about her. I actually have never heard of this author until this book.
Right, me neither.
And she's had quite a few good books. I mean, she's a critically acclaimed New York Times best-selling author. She's got several books that have been translated into numerous different languages and have been all over. I mean,
all the big lists, yeah.
Yeah. And so for me, the fact that she was Good Morning America's book club, I'm how have I never heard of her?
Right. I don't know if maybe our listeners recognize these books, but The Wife, the Maid, and the Mistress, Flight of Dreams, I Was Anastasia, Codename Helene. I feel like that's the one that I haven't read it, but I feel like I've heard about it. So I don't know. But there's a lot of books.
Yeah. And like I said, she's definitely well known to other people, not me. And maybe it's because she's a historical fiction for me.
Well,
maybe
yeah.
that's why.
That's definitely why. We did find out that she lives in Tennessee with her husband, 4 sons, and a black lab who is thankfully a girl. And she says she splits her time between the grocery store and the baseball field like any mom of 4 boys would do.
Yeah. I mean,
They eat so much.
so much food, right?
It's ridiculous.
I mean, really, though, it sounds to me like for someone to deep dive into this, it's like it looks to me like the names and like what I hear about her, she likes to look at history of other women. Mm-hmm. So that seems to be. All right, any other good things about her?
Well, I saw that if you are interested in Martha Ballard, who this book is about, there was a PBS movie about her, kind of a documentary style thing. That's from the 90s.
Oh, okay.
It was like 1998. But again, some researcher took the time to dig through these diaries that we're going to be reading about. So those exist. They found them in the main historical archives and like pulled it out. And
Wow.
I did see a review that said like you need to read the author's note at the end of this book. So when you're reading it, go and read the author's note because I think she's going to explain some of that research and what goes into that. But the other thing that if you are interested in this book, I want to recommend another one because I had no idea what this book was about. And so when I read the back of it, I was like, oh, wow, that seems a lot like another book that I read, which was The Girl in His Shadow by Audrey Blake. And that's one that I have had on our list, like of maybe I'll make Sarah read this one because that's an 1800s in London.
Okay.
And it's a girl who's raised in a doctor's home and is trained to do everything. And so she is a surgeon. Like she is awesome and can do everything better than her father. I'd say like an adopted dad.
Right.
Better than what he can do. And like his assistants come in and she's like doing stuff. And because she's a woman, they get mad. And like there's a whole lot of stuff going on there. But very cool. They're the ones that are like pioneering C-sections back in the day. Like just awesome stuff. And that was one of Libby's free books. They do like a random book club every year where they give that book out for every user. There's no wait. It's like unlimited copies.
Right.
So I think a lot of people read that one. If you read that one, read this one with us.
All right. Well, I mean, it seems like the ratings are well, so it has an overall 4.38.
That's huge.
It is huge. I mean, it is from December of 2023, so it's a couple of years old. But I mean, over 50% are 5 stars.
That is very telling.
Yeah. All right. So give me a good review.
Okay. Well, I only have good reviews for this one because it really was hard to find the bad ones.
Right.
So I have The Lit Homebody gave this 5 stars and says, "This is why I love historical fiction. Not only is it educational and insightful, but it teaches you about a life so foreign to us in these modern days. Lawhon did a phenomenal job marrying a dense plot with evoking motion beyond anything I've ever experienced in a book. I just finished it and I already want to listen to it again. This is a heartbreaking story, not for the faint of heart, but it's the amazing tale of an incredibly brave woman fighting for justice in her small town. Her work as a midwife was so interesting to learn about, and this is easily within my top 5 favorite books of 2023.
Wow, that was a great review.
So much going on there.
Yeah. All right. Well, I have a 4.5 star. They said 5 stars, but then they wrote in there. Brady said 4.5 stars. This one took me almost a month to finish, but definitely worth it. Love a historical fiction, and this was one inspired by the real Martha Ballard's life and being a midwife in the 1700s. Listened to about 90% of it and just finished the last 60-ish pages, and it was just so good. You have to read the author's note. So,
okay.
Yeah.
So maybe I was reading your reviews when I saw that one, but I know I saw that come up multiple places.
I think I saw that a couple times when I was looking for good reviews. I think I heard that and read that. So, yeah, we definitely will read those.
Right. Absolutely.
All right. What's your other good one?
Okay, I have a 3.75, so kind of middle high from
Yes.
Chloe. She says, I love strong, courageous, and confident women. This is one of the books I'd imagine a middle-aged book group full of moms would love. Which
All
I was
right.
laughing. It was good, but holy moly, it was slow. Juicy small-town drama in 1789 is pretty fun to read, though. I ended up enjoying this, but it definitely took longer to get through than I planned. Historical fiction can be so captivating when done correctly, and this was certainly intriguing, but I'll admit it was difficult to binge like I typically do.
Okay. Yeah, I could see that.
Holy moly.
Holy moly. And lots of L's and lots of Y's.
Yes.
All right, so I found a 1-star by Tina. She said, how is this book rated so highly? It was so painful to read. The length, the plot, the boredom. My gosh, it was so boring. It dragged on and the flashbacks were even worse. The main character was preachy and sacrimonious. Why do we care exactly what she writes in her journal when we just read about the events themselves? I wanted to give up so many times, but I hoped the mystery would be solved. Ugh, I'm so angry at this book. I mean,
I will say there was less than 1% for the 2 and the 1 stars. Like, there's none.
yeah.
With over 500,000 ratings, there are a total of 8,000 that are 2 stars and below. And you found one of them.
I found one. It took me forever, but
It did.
Tina did not like this book.
No, she mad.
She was like, you wasted my time.
Yeah, that's all right. Tina, that's not for everyone.
I mean, really, though, the fact that it's a historical fiction and it's like kind of a mystery in it, I'm excited. I love like kind of the murder mystery aspect of it. And then to bring in some history and to learn more.
I like the medical aspect of it.
Yes.
Especially because we have technology and we have quite the advancements. And to see how they're treating people back then.
Yeah.
I'm curious because her diaries are talking about the way that she cured people or treated them. I think it'll really take us a step back in time.
Yeah, it'll take us to the frozen river.
Right. Okay. So I want to know, as we're talking about time and time traveling, perhaps, is there a time period, if you could travel, when would you travel to? Is there a time period that you would like to experience or something that you would have liked to be part of?
That's a hard one. Like, I've always thought it would be really cool to, like, go to the Roaring 20s. Like, but also, I wouldn't. So,
Right.
like, I think the flappers and the dancers and all that prettiness and, like, that would be fun to experience. But also, like, there's a lot of hardship. Like, the Great Depression, all those I do not want to be a part of. And so it's hard for me to really think, like, would there be a time period? I actually do think it'd be really cool to see dinosaurs.
Oh, for sure.
I actually really would probably be scared out of my mind. But I
Yes.
think going way back to see like a dinosaur would be amazing.
I think it would be really fun to get all dressed up in the Victorian dresses
Yes.
and that kind of stuff.
Yes,
And maybe just like sit around and play the piano and read books all day.
true. Because there's no TV, there's no computers, there's nothing.
Right. And a woman who was like educated was somebody who played the pianoforte and could draw a picture.
And they ate
Embroider.
all the things. And that whole like history of how like you looked was way backwards than society today.
Right. The plumper you were, the
Richer you were.
richer you were. Yeah. I mean, it also depends on what level of society you're in.
True.
'Cause I don't want to be Victorian England and be like a peasant.
No.
No,
You don't
thanks.
be a maid. I don't, no, thank you.
I think it would be really cool to travel to the future.
Oh, absolutely. I do want to see one day there's got to be like a flying car. Like there's got to be
Yeah.
like, we're already kind of starting to like slowly get ish.
No. No.
They're getting it further than they were
Well-
when we were like young.
Yeah, but when we were young, they thought we were going to be the Jetsons by now.
Well, that's true.
We are not there.
We are definitely not there.
That's one of the reasons I love the show Doctor Who because he travels in time and space.
Right.
So he travels back and forth. They go to the dinosaurs. They go and visit Pompeii. Like they do all these big historical events. So
really, if
it's like historical fiction. It's historical science fiction. Your two favorite things.
Wow.
I'm going to make you sit down and watch some sci-fi.
I've never watched one episode of Doctor Who.
Yeah, I believe you.
Doctor Who? Who's
Exactly.
that? I don't know.
Exactly.
Don't even know where I could find an episode of Doctor Who at all.
On the BBC.
Well, he can stay there and have a good time because he's got good followers and it's not me.
Right. That is really funny. Is there a time period that you would avoid?
Oh, there's a lot of time periods I avoid.
Right?
Yes. Because, like, really, I think of, we lived through COVID, right?
Yeah.
And I think of all the advances that we have. We have technology that we can still talk to people. Even when there was Christmases that we weren't with our families, we were still able to be with them in some way. So I think about, like, when they had the flu, like, or they had all those different times that were like the pandemics.
Bubonic plague.
Correct. There was all these different things that they had that I would definitely not want to be there because you are seriously either in it, you are sick, there's no advances to medicine like we have, and you're not talking to anybody or seeing anybody.
Yeah.
And you're growing your own food, and if you aren't growing it, you're not eating it because they don't have all of the abilities that we have.
Yeah. There's a lot of places and times that would not be fun to be in.
No, there aren't.
And I think that we were born into where we exist now for a reason.
Oh, yeah.
So I think I was definitely meant to be here in the present, but it would be fun.
Well, it would be fun, but I also think that we wouldn't know any different if we were born in those times. So we wouldn't, like, again, someone who's born in the future that we were like, that would be so cool to see, or they'd be like, well, I mean, I think about kids today. Think about cell phones. When I'd be like, I was so cool, I had a pager. They're like, what is that?
Oh, right. I'm laughing because the kids these days have no idea what we grew up with and don't even understand that, like, well, why didn't you just check on Google? And you're like, because Google didn't exist.
I'm older than Google.
Right. They don't get it. How do you get your email address with your name? It's like, because I was there when it was invented. Like, sorry, yours has 5 letters and weird things after it. Like,
I mean, I remember when MySpace was cool, but that was a different time. But again, I can't even fault them for not knowing because they don't know any different. And so, like you said, they're born into these times. So we can't fault anyone for what they know and don't know.
but we can share our knowledge.
And
maybe take some devices away.
Though sometimes you look in your parents when they'd be like, I walked 5 miles in the...
Uphill both ways in the snow, carrying my little brother.
I know.
All the things.
You know what I'm saying. And so it makes me laugh because I'm like, or back in my day, I'm like, please don't let me say that. If I say that.
I know. And that's where I go back to my person who said, this sounds like something a middle-aged book club does that's full of moms. I'm like, okay, don't call me middle-aged, but we're doing it for book club.
In fact, the people who recommended it.
Yes. We'll put it on them.
We're going to put it on them. And you just were like, it was recommended by several people, so we're just going to scoot it up. But really, truly, I am excited about this because there's more than just the historical portion of it. There's the mystery, the cover's appealing, and again, it was a lot of awards. It won a lot.
Yeah. I think it's a nice change of pace from our last book as well.
Very different. I think that spice and trigger warnings won't be as drastic.
I don't think so. I mean, there could be a little bit of gruesome details from her medical journals, but I'm here for it.
Yeah. And until then, keep reading.
Keep ranting.
And remember, you're so approachable.
Okay, the episode is over. Get reading.
But before you go, like, review, and subscribe.
Turn on notifications to get the alert when the full episode drops.
Follow us on Instagram and Facebook to see what we're reading next and join the conversation.
We're so excited to have you on board.